Hey, BassGeek here, and one of the hottest worm rigs in tournament fishing over the past 2 to 3 years has been the Neko rig. And although there's a ton of incredible worms that you can use with a Neko rig on the market, this new worm, brand new, sets itself apart. And fishing geeks, I'm going to show you one of the many ways to rig it, how to fish it, and the gear you need to catch more fish doing it. Let's go. A Neko rig is really great any time of year, but I love a bigger one just after all the spawn is over. So when we talk about late May, we talk about early summer, I love to get out on some deeper areas, some ledges, some long points and humps that are out there a little bit deeper, some summer haunts where these bass are going to be hiding. This is where I'm really going to target these bass. Now, another little trick, and I really didn't want to share this necessarily with everybody, is during the shad spawn, those bass will stay in those areas. One of the things I like to do is find some sort of stumps or something that is nearby where those bass are and drop this little sucker on their head. Man, they can't resist it. They're a little bit finicky because they've been feeding all day, but when this drops down on them and you've got it Neko rig and it's like a wacky rig, you pull it up, they go crazy. Now, even if they're suspended, you can still use this and just twitch it above their heads. They will come up and crush it. So there's just so many different ways to rig and use a Neko rig that it is amazing, especially when it comes to the post spawn. Now, let me show you what worm we're talking about. And this is the worm that we're talking about. This is the brand new bait from NetBait, and it's called the Dirty 30. This is an incredible design, super soft bait, and it's part of the Hex Tech series. Now, what is Hex Tech, you might ask? Well, they've got these little hexagon style pockets, and the reason why they have that, A, it'll hold a little bit of air and you'll see some bubbles come out from when it hits the bottom. But B, they've came out with the gel. So this gel is a little bit thicker than the bait fuel. So what you do is you put it on and you rub it in to those little hexagon pockets, and it holds that scent for a lot longer. So, as they like to say with their Hex Tech stuff, you supercharge it with bait fuel. Now, what makes this worm so unique and so different is the design. Yes, you've got 30 legs on this worm. So you guys that like to fish a hellgrammite, this is like a hellgrammite on steroids. What else makes it great? It's an incredible wacky rig worm because it's got a bigger tail, then it slims down slightly above center, and then you've got a full size body. So you've got this incredible tail action, no matter if you're putting this on a wacky rig, no matter if you're putting it on a shaky head. I mean, you can Carolina rig, you can drop shot it. There's just 100 things you can do. But today, I'm going to show you my favorite way to rig it, my favorite way to fish it, which is the good old Neko rig. And with that tail right there, holy cow, the action you get out of this worm is insane. And each one of these legs actually has a slight oval shape to it. I wouldn't necessarily call it a paddle, but I wouldn't necessarily not call it a paddle either. Like I said, this little color right here is 21. This is GP, and I think that stands for Green Pumpkin Violet. I know a couple of you really like the name of this. This is Gill Pickle. Great little color right here. This is called Mudbug. Gotta have a black and blue flake. A good old standby for me in the clear waters that I fish, Green Pumpkin. And you geeks have heard me talk about this. Now listen, when I'm throwing something like a bottom bouncing bait, that's when I want a higher end rod. And this rod from Douglas, the X Matrix, is just that. This is their higher end model. And so it's got incredible sensitivity to it. It will cast a Neko rig a mile and you'll feel the subtlest of bites. This is a 7.4. Anything from a 7.4 will work. Medium, fast action is pretty much my go-to. It's kind of my standard when it comes to about any egg beater setup, truthfully. Now, I've got this coupled with the Exceller from Daiwa. This is pretty good, pretty bargain reel from them, and so far it's really been pretty great. Got that teamed up with the K9 braid. This is the pink. I love the high vis, especially this time of year. A lot of pollen on the water. The yellow, as I get older, gets harder to see. We've got that green water, and then we've got that yellow pollen on it. So the pink stands out so I can see any sort of line movement a little bit better. And then we've got the Pro 100 100% fluorocarbon from K9 Fishing. So let's talk about retrieves. And for me, there's only two main retrieves. The first retrieve is cast it out there, let it drop to the bottom, and give it 2 to 3 just twitches of the rod tip. What that's going to do is it's going to give you a nice wacky rig action. And then when you stop, it's going to fall quickly and it's going to hit the bottom and you're going to get a good reaction bite. Now, the other is more of a slow moving retrieve. What we're going to do there is we're going to throw this out. We're going to let it fall to the bottom. We're going to drag it. But what we're going to do is we're going to shake our slack in our line. So we're just going to drag it a little bit, and then we're going to give that line a little bit of bolt, and we're going to shake it. Don't want to move the bait. We just want that line to shake. It's going to cause that tail to go insane. Then what you can do is you can drag it again, or you can give it a couple of quick twitches up to get that wacky rig action. So that tail is calling them when you're shaking that slack in that line, bringing them to the fish. Then you pop it up, and that's going to get a reaction bite there also. So when it comes to hook set, you're going to make sure as soon as you feel that, you're going to set straight up, you're going to start reeling, get your rod tip down, make sure your drag is set, and get them to the boat. Now, I like to use light wire hooks. This is one by Mustad. It's a Neko drop shot straight shank hook. It's incredible for the job. Use whatever you want, but make sure you either get somebody to get the net or you get up to them and you go ahead and grab them with your thumb. Single hook shouldn't be a problem. Now, there's a couple of rigging techniques that I use, and one of the rigging techniques, you guys have seen me talk about this kit that I found on Amazon. Comes with the spreader and with 3 different sizes of O-rings on it, and that will save you worms. These things are incredibly soft, so just hooking them straight through, gonna tear them up pretty quickly. I'll put links in the description of that. That's not a sponsor or anything like that. It's just a really cool kit that I found. I know I've seen the ones in some other places, and just the tool alone is like as much or probably double this kit. I think this kit goes for like 12 or 16 bucks for the whole thing, the 3 packs and the whole 9 yards. So make sure you check that out. Save you some money, geeks. You'll notice in the rigging that I've got a screw in weight in there. Now, a lot of times I do like that, put a touch of glue on it to keep it from slinging out, even though it does screw in. Because I fish a lot of rock, and sometimes I like that little sound that's pecking across that rock on the bottom. Now, if you want to be a little more subtle, easily, take you a nail weight, shove up in there. Make sure you put a little bit of glue on that too, so it don't come flinging out. Now, we were talking about the bluegill spawn, and that is going on or getting ready to go on through most of the country. And let me tell you, we have got a brand new gill bait that you need to go check out. And you can go check that out right here Otherwise, questions, comments in the comment section below. Like it if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you ring the bell so you get the notifications, be part of the 100% Watch Squad, and you keep rock.